Super calming. Great product if you've been stressed. I feel more relaxed, less pain and more energetic and can sit more still. I have to be honest here, I thought this was snake oil and only bought it because of the low price. I also only took half a capsule because I was scared about how I would feel and for how long. That being said, I will never stop taking this supplement/capsule/brand. I haven't felt this good in quite a while. I am extremely happy and chatty and energetic, but not in a fast heartbeat speedy way, more like in an entire body up feeling. This is incredible. I am diabetic, I am overweight and I now feel great, and I literally just received this package. Wish I would have Amazon searched Adderall sooner lol. Now supplements are often a good buy. They offer quality and value, and are often priced the same or less than competitors. I have never had a bad experience, or upset stomach, with any of their supplements. Would recommend. I've been using Now supplements for a while now, and here's my take on it. When paired with prescribed medication, it's been a game changer. I've noticed a significant improvement in how I feel throughout the day. Whether it's increased energy levels, or better overall mood levels, the combo has truly made a difference in my daily life. However, when taken on its own, I didn't notice any significant change. It seemed to blend with my daily routine without making a standout impact. That said, when used as an addition to my prescribed med, the results were unmistakable. I never write reviews, but felt for this one I would. I did my research beforehand, as I had read it was a good one to take for mental clarity, focus, sleeplessness and overall happiness. I have been taking it for a month now, and here is my own results and observations since I started. My mental clarity and focus was improved. I have never been diagnosed with ADHD, however I have always been one to get easily distracted and never finish a project unless I'm under fire. This hasn't been a problem per se, but since having kids it's been harder. I get interested in something and start it, but then something else comes up and I move on and never go back. The same goes for work. I work on a project and get asked a question or for help with something, and then I lose focus and motivation, so it's hard to get going again. This helped. It's not a miracle drug, so don't expect that, but it makes the transition easier and getting back on track easier. It's what I needed. My sleep wasn't necessarily bad, but it also improved. I've been wearing a Fitbit to bed for years, and my awake time was consistently more than 10% of my total sleep time from when I went to bed to time I woke up. Most of this 10% was time I was technically sleeping, but my body registered awake even if I didn't remember it. Since taking the L-Tyrosine it's been consistently below 10%. Again, it's not a miracle drug, but any improvement I attribute to the one change I made to myself, and that was taking this. Also, my sleep score went from a below 90 average to above 90. I feel good when I wake up now and don't feel the need for a nap midday, so that's a plus. The overall happiness was something that I read, but wasn't something I struggled with or cared about, but I did see some improvement there too. Could it be the better sleep or the happiness from staying focused more? Finishing more projects than usual? Possibly, but either way I'll take it. What I didn't anticipate was the curbing of any sugar cravings, and this was wonderful. I always want something sweet. I crave the sweetness, but since taking this supplement I don't crave the sugar. No chocolate, no cookies, no ice cream. I'm not saying I didn't indulge once in a while, but I didn't crave it anymore. With that being said, I did manage to lose 5 pounds this month. With this being said, I will say that I read taking the L-Tyrosine with a B6 supplement helps it be more effective, and so I did take my vitamin B complex, L-Tyrosine, and my vitamin D all at the same time. The B complex and vitamin D I had already been taking, and I only added the L-Tyrosine in the last month. I'm not sure if it would work differently without the B complex or not, but I figured I'd mention it just in case. Hope my feedback helps anyone else considering taking this. I take this brand of L-Tyrosine daily, every morning, and it has helped me noticeably with my energy and anxiety levels. I have a fructose malabsorption problem that interferes with my uptake of certain neurotransmitter precursors, and supplementing with this on an empty stomach seems to help me focus and feel a little more motivated. I do take a much lower dose than recommended. I split the contents of each capsule up into 4 capsules, effectively taking 1/4 of a capsule every day, about 125 mg, but I am so sensitive to medications/supplements that I typically take 1/4 to 1/3 the regular strength dose for really everything, including things like ibuprofen and Claritin. Taking a larger dose of tyrosine has a noticeable effect on my libido and also makes me feel extremely calm, and a little uncoordinated. As long as I wait an hour to eat after taking a small dose, I have mild, but positive effects. Eating right away means I have no noticeable effects. I assume this is because other amino acids in the food I eat have higher priority and outcompete tyrosine. If I stop taking it for a few days, I don't notice any awful withdrawal symptoms. This seems to be a much more predictable and less dependency-inducing supplement than I have heard L-Dopa to be, although I have not tried L-Dopa myself. On the flip side, I recommended this to my husband, who struggles with lack of focus and motivation. He's in a really thought-intensive occupation, so this is particularly disruptive. He took a full capsule every morning for a week or so. The first few days, he felt like he had a little more energy and motivation, and that he was able to lift a bit more on his workouts. He said it was about the same as a cup of coffee, except without the jitteriness, and the effect was strongest about 2 to 3 hours after taking it on an empty stomach and lasted several hours. However, after about 3 days, his mood shifted so drastically that he was really impossible to live with. He became extremely angry, on edge, defensive, aggressive, critical, negative, and prone to violent outbursts. It was a complete and terrifying transformation. He became a brute, where normally he is a patient, gentle, kind man. It took a few days before I realized what was causing the change, and he stopped taking it. The next day, he returned to being gentle and loving, with no noticeable traces of the monster he'd been. Perhaps he needed a smaller dosage, although we weren't willing to try, and I'm not sure this would have helped. Really, I think his physiology wasn't meshing with the tyrosine supplementation, but I don't know how we would have predicted that before we tried it. Biochemistry is a complicated business. So, do I recommend it? I recommend that if you have difficulty focusing, getting motivated, and dealing with crippling anxiety, you try it, in low doses, and watch your moods carefully. Be prepared for the possibility that you become a raging monster, and if you do, stop taking this stuff ASAP. However, there's a chance that you'll have wonderfully positive effects from it, too, like I did. I say try it and see. Just be mindful of what's happening. Dr. It made me calmer and more focused in small doses, but it turned my husband into a raging demon with regular strength doses. Try it in small doses and watch the effects carefully. It may or may not be worth it. It was for me, definitely not for him. Suplemento maravilhoso, minha estabilidade emocional e outracom 15 dias que uso. O sono reparador, sem tomar nada de controlado para dormir. Recomendo dema esse amino ácido, person with folded hands. Recommended by my dermatologist. Gostei muito. Powerful effect, good for alertness.